Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to your election headquarters. Now, it was rescheduled once and there was the real possibility that one of the presidential aspirants will be excluded. But after 48 hours of controversy, the IEA final presidential debate is set to get underway later tonight. So, with 15 days to the election, we find out how seriously the various parties are taking tonight's debate. We're live from the Multi-TV studios and live also on radio at Joy 99.7. Together, we are your election headquarters. We'll be back with the details. You're live on Joy 99.7 FM and live on the Joy News channel on Multi-TV. This is your election headquarters. This afternoon, we are also live on Love FM in Kumasi, and the program is brought to you by Infobox Mobile Services. Text election or joy to 1922 for more. Each SMS costs 10 pesos. Be the first to know it all. The issues, the promises, the policies, results, and more. From the Joy election headquarters, my name is Araba Kumson. Now, we're just 15 days to the elections and the countdown had long begun. The campaigns of the various parties are in the home stretch and the electorate might just have already made up their minds. So, will this final debate make any difference? Today, we'll be joined by representatives of the various political parties as they wrap up preparations to do battle on the issues tonight. Joining me in the studio is Abu Jinapor. He will join me a little while later. Special aide to the MPP presidential candidate Nana Akufo-Addo. On Skype is the General Secretary of the PNC, Bernard Mona. On the phone lines are the NDC Deputy General Secretary, George Lawson, and the Communications Director of the CPP, Niama Akonfra. I want to start with you, Bernard Mona. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Araba.
Now, you fought hard to get your candidate readmitted after the IEA indicated that they were leaving him out following his criticism of the platform. How has that episode affected him?
Well, as I stated this morning on some other networks, the flag bearer is well prepared, he's calm and collected. He thinks that the issues to be raised this afternoon for it are the same issues that he has raised on his campaign platform.
Right.
So this evening will just be a rehash of the issues that he has talking about when he engaged in the communities and the various people that he interacts with throughout the ground. So clearly, we're taking today a very light. We're also taking it as a platform once again to indicate policy options for this nation. As we did in the first presidential debate, it is only the PNC that one can point clearly to that spoke about policy intent and new issues. It is the PNC that talks about separating political governance from economic governance. It is the PNC that took the bold question of retrieving our economy for the people of Ghana from the hands of foreigners. It is the PNC that talks about the exporting of our brains, that is our professionals who migrate to other countries without any benefit to this nation. So this afternoon or evening, we are going to engage again once more on the issues that confront the people and how best we can solve them, particularly how we can tackle the question of corruption, insecurity in our nation, and to deal with the question of our foreign status and where we belong.
All right, Mr. Mona, hold on for us there. I have in the studio with me Abu Jinapor. He's a special aide to Nana Akufo-Addo. Welcome to the studios.
Thank you very much, Araba.
Okay, all right. And how's Nana preparing for tonight's debate?
Very well.
We've heard from him. He said he's very well prepared.
Very
but really,
well
what
prepared.
is he doing ahead of tonight's debate?
I believe that he's crossing the T's and dotting the I's, relaxing, getting refreshed for the evening. But as you do know, Nana Akufo-Addo himself has been an embodiment of the rule of law, of democracy, of the fight for democratic dispensation in our country. Almost all his adult life, he's used it to fight for the entrenchment of human rights, the respect for rule of law, and the practice of democracy in our country. He himself is a man of integrity, par excellence. And so the point is that tonight, I believe, is supposed to be his comfort zone.
Okay. I also have on the line with me Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, George Lawson. Mr. Lawson, how prepared is the President for tonight's debate? He's been very, very busy managing the affairs of state. He supervised a state funeral, and today he actually hosted some pastors at the castle. Has he had any time at all to prepare?
This really just had some time to taking some few hours off his travel schedule to prepare for this debate.
What's he been doing, in terms of preparations towards tonight's event?
I've been putting these expressions together as to what is tell Ghanaians tonight and how prepared he is to take over the country come again, if the president come January next year.
Let me come back to the studio, Abu. Now, there are criticisms that this particular platform is not useful and that you will not get the votes. And I'm quoting Hassan Ayariga, who says that the platform hasn't really been useful to him because people have already made up their minds even before watching this. Is this a sentiment you share?
Well, first of all, I think that the answer to that lies in the philosophy with which we are conducting our campaign. The very strategy of our campaign is to talk to every Ghanaian, deliver a message to every Ghanaian through whatever means. And as you do know, we've done several things, listening to restore hope. Our grassroots supporters have been moving from house to house. Our candidate himself has indeed spoken on almost every sector of our national life, delivered a lecture on education, on corruption, on agriculture, on arts and culture, on security. So the strategy of our campaign is to speak to every Ghanaian, to deliver that message of hope to every Ghanaian anywhere that will find a Ghanaian. The IEA platform, by no doubt, I believe in my own candid view, it's a credible platform. I mean, tonight, for example, is the biggest issue in Ghana today. Almost every Ghanaian who gets the opportunity will be watching national television and listening to the presidential candidate. Right. It is another platform that Nana Akufo-Addo is going to seize among the many platforms and the many avenues that the campaign has created for him as a presidential candidate to deliver his message of hope.
Right. Let me go back to the line. Mr. Lawson, is this a sentiment you share? There are those who say this platform is really not useful for them.
I cannot say that it's not useful. It's one of the platforms that is used to communicate things to electorate. And we have also decided to be part of the team or part of that platform.
Mr. Lawson, could you kindly reposition yourself? We can't seem to hear you properly.
Is it okay now?
It's better now. It's better now.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Yes, I said it's one of the platforms that it's not the most useful platform. I have my own reservation when it comes to the IEA sector. I just don't want to express that for now. I just want to express that of the party. That's why it's one of many platforms that can be used to reach out to the electorate. And that's why we are on board that on board.
All right, let me put that same question to Bernard Mona. I mean, we're about some 15 days to the election. You should be wrapping up your campaigns by now. How different? What difference will this tonight's debate make?
Well, the people of Ghana want to listen to the various presidential candidates, particularly their composure on issues, how they will tackle provocative situations and whatever. And that's why we have availed ourselves to that for them to see the comportment of our candidates. In terms of that the opportunity provided to win any vote, I agree with that. Clearly, if you go to the hall, you will see that these are rigid political adherence for various political parties that will be inside the hall. And clearly, you are not going to win, say, a Baumia in favor of Hassan Ayariga when he comes to sit. You are not going to win Gabby Ochidapo when you sit there. And I'm not sure that you are going to win over George Dawson to the side of the TN. So clearly, the environment itself is a dictated or what I call a rented group of people that have gone there who already know where they belong. But since the people of Ghana want to watch the composure and they want to see how people will confront provocative situations, that's why we are appearing, but not necessarily because it's going to offer a platform for winning votes or not winning votes. The votes are won on the field, and we have been on the field. We have engaged in our micro politics as opposed to we have done one rallies that are organized by other political parties.
All right, thank you very much. And that was the General Secretary of the PNC, Bernard Mona. Earlier you heard the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, George Lawson. Let me come back to the studio and to you, Abu. Nana has been on this platform. This will be his third time, actually. First was 2008 and then the recent one. What's going to change this time around? I know that there are going to be different issues, sports, women's issues, corruption, security, but what's going to be different for Nana this time round?
Well, Araba, the two main thematic areas that is going to shape this IEA presidential debate, we are told, are going to be corruption and good governance. And for us in the MPP and for us in the campaign, Nana Akufo-Addo, in all humility, himself, his history, his record, and his contemporary disposition is an embodiment of good governance and the fight against corruption. All his life, for almost 4 decades in the struggle for democracy in this country, 4 decades that he's been at the forefront for the fight for democracy, has been in frontline Ghanaian politics. You recall, for example, in 1977, at age 33, he was the General Secretary for the People's Movement for Freedom and Justice that fought for the restoration of democracy under the Champon regime. He's done this over the period at a time when there was no even opportunity for people to contest for elections. And so he could not be doing so for elections. And also the point about the point that he's made, that he's never been corrupt, he's not corrupt, and he will never be corrupt. And so you have the moral audacity to fight corruption in his government.
So we'll hear him espousing all of those.
Yeah, he's going to speak to them.
Okay, let me get back on the line, and I have with me on the line the CBP Communications Director, Mr. Ni Alma Akonfra. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to your listeners.
Now, many people were of the view that your candidate, outperformed his opponents at the last debate. What is he going to do this time differently to stay on top?
Well, he understands the issues, and he's more than prepared for this debate, first of all. He's prepared to be president. So he understands the issues that affect the country. He understands the concerns of the country. And so on this particular the issues coming up on good governance, which is to do with peace and security, which is to do with corruption and bureaucracy, which is to do with character and leadership, the theme that deals with oil and gas, mining, women and gender, youth, sports, arts and culture, he was on top of. He will be able to articulate a very clear vision from a CBP perspective under his leadership. And I think the problem for our opponents is that whatever vision they have in these areas, we've lived it for the last 20 years. Everybody understands that their vision has failed for the country. They are not delivering on the basics. And Dr. Sakao will be able to articulate a new vision for the country. And people will be inspired by it because certainly they've lived the failure of the last 20 years.
All right, thank you very much for your time. That's Ni Alma Akonfra. He's General Secretary of the CPP. I'm told that Mr. George Lawson is still on the line. He's Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Mr. Lawson, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, now, some say that it's 3 against 1. Obviously, people will be punching at the president. His opponents will be punching at him. Is the president feeling the pressure?
Oh, he's up to the task. He's not feeling any pressure. It's obvious. He's the president of the republic. Once he's the president of the republic, he will be the target. And he's tough. I mean, he's tough. He's going to absorb all those, and he's been absorbing it. Even outside debates, he absorbs everything. So this one is just going to be one of those, and he's going to live up to expectations.
Thank you very much for your time. That's George Lawson. He's Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Let's now speak to the IEA's Ransford Jampo. Thank you very much for your time. I'm told that he's not on yet, but let me come back to you, Abu. So tell me, I mean, the president, we were told that you're going there to pull punches. I mean, punch the president, obviously, like you did the last time. That was Nanado's posture. That is what we saw the last time round.
Not in the least. And I also disagree with that proposition that it was 3 against 1 in respect of President Mahama and the others. I don't know.
Well, they're all sitting in the seat.
Mr. Hassan Ayariga, for example, in the last debate, spent almost all his time attacking those free SHS proposal. So I'm not too sure about that. I think that
we're talking about attack in the sense that all the 3 other opponents are looking at taking over that particular seat. seat.
And I'm saying to you that with proper scrutiny of the previous debate, I did not find Mr. Hassan Ayaraga punching holes in the proposition of President Mahama. He was indeed attacking Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And so, I don't know, I think that's a platform that the presidential candidates are supposed to mount and convince the electorate as to the appropriateness of voting for them.
Let's talk about Nana's style. Many thought that in the last debate, he was more confrontational than he really needed to be, that he was taking on the president and attacking him more than rather than addressing the issues up front.
Well, I think that how I saw Nana Akufo-Addo's strategy come out in the previous debate was this. You have an incumbent that has obviously failed the people. So first of all, you need to establish the failure of the incumbent. And that's what he did exactly. On every issue, he told the electorate, he told the Ghanaian people how the NDC government had failed the Ghanaian people. And then went a step further to provide an alternative. I give you an example. On the question of education, for example, he stated the kind of difficulties that confront the Ghanaian people in respect of education, the challenges that confront the Ghanaian people in respect of education, how people cannot afford school fees and the rest. That obviously is taking the government on. Then he didn't stop there. He went a step further to provide a credible alternative of free secondary education, a credible alternative of redefining basic education to mean kindergarten to senior high school 3, a credible alternative of quality education which has been captured in his policy proposal of teacher first. So it was not all about attack. You need to expose the ineptitude and the inefficiency of the government and follow up with a credible alternative.
All right.
And exactly what Nana did.
Okay, let me go back to the lines now. I'm told that Ransford Jampo of the IEA has joined me on the line. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Jampo.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for joining us. Now, I'm sure that you've had some feedback following the last debate. Will anything change tonight?
Well, I'm not too sure. Basically, we're still giving platform to the flag bearers of the four main parties that have representation in Parliament to debate among themselves. And so it's just going to be presidential debate. I think one feedback that we had during the first debate in Parliament was the timing. It went too deep into the night, and we are hoping to be able to stay within 3 hours. You realize that we improved upon the timing during the vice presidential debate, and so we're hoping to do more so that we stay within 3 hours and we wouldn't go so deep into the night.
And tell us about some of the issues that are going to come up for discussion at tonight's event. We hear that security and women's issues are among those that will come up tonight.
Essentially, the broad theme for tonight's debate is now good governance and democracy. So all these issues can be subsumed and direct.
And finally, what are the IEA's own expectations ahead of tonight's event?
Our expectations remain the same, that we're hoping to focus our politicking on issues and to radically depart from discussions of persons and attacks and vituperations and all that. So we're seeking to promote issues-based politics.
And there are those who suggest that, I mean, we have only 15 days to the polls. This is not going to change anything. How do you react to that?
Well, like I said, I've said earlier, the impact of our presidential debates on electoral fortunes of political parties have not really been established. This is a novel phenomenon, and this is the fledgling democracy. And so we are not necessarily seeking to sway votes, even although we admit that there are some people who may not have been able to even make up their mind up to now, and they may listen to some of the policy prescriptions of the presidential hopefuls to help them make up their mind. But we concede that there are die-hard and core supporters who may have made up their mind already.
Right.
Nevertheless, what we are seeking to do or to achieve, as I indicated earlier, is to promote issues-based politics. We want issues to dominate, our discussions after debate, and these issues should be able to inform those who may not have decided to be able to make up their mind. We are also seeking to ensure that we calm down the unnecessary political tension that usually engulf our country in the run-up to elections.
All right. Thank you very much. Ransford Jampo is with the IEA, and I'll give you the final word. Abu, we have 30 seconds to wrap up.
I just hope that tonight Nana Akufo-Addo is going to demonstrate once again, as he's done over the years through his engagement with the Ghanaian people, that he's the leader who has a clear vision for this country. And what is that vision? The vision to transform our country from the agrarian, raw material exporting economy, what he calls the Gogis Bay type of economy, to a modern, industrialized, value-adding economy. Cardinal to all the achievement of all of this is building a competent, skillful, educated human resource base, which is why he's proposing this free SHS thing. And the reason why you should believe that Akufo-Addo can deliver on his promise is that Nana Akufo-Addo is a man of integrity. And I've said it for 40 years since he's been through our politics in Ghana. Nobody has leveled even a single allegation of corruption against him. He's going to demonstrate that tonight, and he's the man to vote for. Thank
you very much. That's Abu Jinapor. He's aide to MPP presidential candidate Nana Akufo-Addo. And with that, we end election headquarters for today. We wish all the contestants, all the candidates, all of the best. The program was live from the Multi-TV studios here and in Accra, also live on radio on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, on Love FM in Kumasi, also on the net at myjoyonline.com. The program was sponsored by Star Ghana as well as Infobox Mobile Services. Text election to 1922. We understand that